Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Jaya Gopi Jana Balaba Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jaya Yasodhanandana Jaya Braja Jana Ranjana Jaya Braja Jana Ranjana Jaya Yasodhanandana Jaya Yasodhanandana Jaya Braja Jana Ranjana Jaya Braja Jana Ranjana Jaya Yasodhanandana Jaya Yamuna Chiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Yamuna Chiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Yam Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Gopi Jana Balaba Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Balaba Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Jaya Yasodhanandana Jaya Braja Jana Ranjana Jaya Braja Jana Ranjana Jaya Yasoda Jaya Yasodhanandana Jaya Braja Jana Ranjana Jaya Braja Jana Ranjana Jaya Jaya Yamuna Chirabanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Yamuna Chirabanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Nitago Haribo 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 Nitago Haribo Nitago Haribo 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 Nitago Haribo Jaya Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivrajakacarya Stotrastasya Srimad His Divine Grace Ese Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jaya Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivrajakacarya Stotrastasya Srimad His Divine Grace Bhakti-Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki His Confounder Jaya Srila Prabhupada Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Grantarasma Bhagavatam Ki Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Nitaya Gopi Manandi. All glory to the assembled devotees. All glory to the assembled devotees. All glory to the assembled devotees. All glory is to the lotus feet of Sri Sri Guru Gauranga. Narayana Namaskritya Narai Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiraye Nasta Parayesha Bhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavad-Gita Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Nastike Vede Ramane Chaiva Purane Bharate Tata Devadyan Chamadecha Hari Sabatya Giyate Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangu Langarate Gri Ya Kripataham Vande Sri Guru Dinatarine Paramananda Madhava Dhamma Projata Kadavuta Paramo Nimashram Satan Vedam Vastava Matavastu Sivadam Tabatayo Molana Sima Bhagavati Mahamani Kritanki Vai Para Ishwara Sadhu already Avarudita Trakatapita Kishanam Yasha Mana Yan Krishna Parma Purusha Bhakti-yoga Punsa Soka Moa Baya Baha Atoyam Brahma Sutranam Bharatata Vinaya Gayati Vasarupo So Vidata Paribramita Sabha Videti Saramisi Bhakta Misyate Tarasamita Triplasya Nayata Syarati Kwachi Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pistaya Bhatala Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Picharini Nivise Sunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarini Vanchakapatarubhyas Cha Kripa Sindhi Vivachai Paditi Pavanabi Vaishnavi Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadahara Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, which is called the General History. Canto 11, Chapter 2, Text number 6. Maharaj Nimi meets the Navayogendras, the 9 Yogendra. So Canto 11 of Bhagavatam is a very, very interesting chapter. Canto, because it is this canto whereby we hear the last instructions of Lord Krishna, called the Bhagavad-Gita. There's a lot to be learned. So Bhagavad-Gita is considered to be the sequel to the Bhagavad-Gita. So this is going to start from the chapter 7, when Uddhava approached Lord Krishna. And this chapter, this is a conversation between Vasudeva, Krishna's father, and Narada Muni. And Narada Muni is going to recount the conversation between Maharaj Nimi and the Navayogendras. So we have today is text number 6. This is the talks of Vasudeva is asking Narada Muni questions, and first of all, he is also praising Narada Muni. So we can chant together. Bhajanti ye yata devan deva api tatayvatan chayeva karma sachivaha sadavo dinavatsalaha. Bhajanti ye yata devan deva api tatayvatan chayeva karma sachivaha sadavo dinavatsalaha. Bhajanti ye yata devan deva api tatayvatan chayeva karma sachivaha sadavo dinavatsalaha. Bhajanti yata deva Vatsala. Matajis. Matajis. Bhajanti, worship, yea, they who, yata, in which way, Devam, the demigods, Devaha, the demigods, Api, also, Tatayeva, just in that way, Tan, them, Chaya, in a shadow, Eva, as if karma of material work and its reactions. Sachiva, the attendants. Sadhava, saintly persons. Dina Vatsala, merciful to the fallen. Translation and purport by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Those who worship the demigods receive reciprocation from the demigods in a way just corresponding to the offering. The demigods are attendants of karma, like a person's shadow, but sadhus are actually merciful to the fallen. Purport. The words Chayeva Karma Sachiva are significant here. Chaya means shadow. The shadow of the body precisely follows the movements of the body. The shadow has no power to move in a way different from the movement of the body. Similarly, as stated here, Bhajanti Yeyata Devan, Deva Api Tataivatam, the results the demigods award to living beings correspond exactly to the living beings' actions. The demigods are empowered by the Lord to follow precisely the particular karma of a living entity in awarding him happiness and distress. Just as a shadow cannot move independently, the demigods cannot punish or reward a living being independently. Although the demigods are millions of times more powerful than the human beings on earth, they are ultimately tiny servants of God, whom the Lord allows to play as the controllers of the universe. In the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Prithu Maharaj, an empowered incarnation of the Lord, states that even the demigods are subject to punishment by the Lord if they deviate from his laws. On the other hand, devotees of the Lord, such as Narada Muni, by their potent preaching, can interfere in the karma of a living being by persuading him to give up his fruitive activity and mental speculation and surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In material existence, one works hard under the bondage of ignorance. But if one becomes enlightened by association with a pure devotee of the Lord, one can understand one's actual position as an eternal servant of God. By rendering such service, one dissolves his attachment to the material world and the reactions of his previous activities. And as a surrendered soul, he is endowed with unlimited spiritual freedom in the service of the Lord. In this regard, the Brahma Samhita states, Yastuindago Pamatabendra Mahosakama Bandan Rupa Fulabhajana Mata Noti Kamani Nidati Kintu Chabakti Badam Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, who burns to the roots all the fruitive activities of those imbued with devotion. For those who walk the path of work, no less for Indra, king of the demigods, than for the tiny insect, Indragopa. He impartially ordains the due enjoyment of the fruits of activities in accordance with the chain of works previously performed. Even the demigods are bound to the laws of karma, whereas a pure devotee of the Lord, having completely given up the desire for material enjoyment, successfully burns to ashes all traces of karma. Very long purport. I just read one more paragraph. In this regard, Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur has commented that unless one is engaged as a surrendered soul in the devotional service of the Lord, he cannot actually be considered niskam or free from all personal desire. Sometimes a materialistic person will engage in charity or altruistic activities, and in this way consider himself a selfless worker. Similarly, those who engage in mental speculation with the ultimate goal of merging into the impersonal Brahman aspect of the Lord also advertise themselves as being selfless or desireless. According to Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati, however, such karmis and jnanis, while busy in their so-called selflessness, are in fact servants of lusty desire. In other words, they have not perfectly understood their position as eternal servants of God. The altruistic kami falsely considers himself the best friend of humanity, although he is unable to give actual benefit to others, because he is ignorant of the eternal life of bliss and knowledge beyond the temporary hallucination of material existence. Similarly, although the jnani proudly declares himself God and invites others to become God also, he neglects to explain how the so-called gods have come to be bound by the laws of material nature. Actually, the attempt to become God is based not on love of God, but on the desire to take the same status as God. In other words, the desire to be equal in all respects to the Supreme is simply another materialistic desire. Therefore, the karmis and gyanis, because of their dissatisfaction in artificially trying to fulfill their own desires, can show no actual mercy to the fallen souls. So this purport goes on and on. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for being here this morning, and also to those who are watching from the Vrindavan TV, and to those who are watching from Vrindavan TV, and also to yourself. So the Vasudev is in his talk with Narada Muni in this text. He is pointing out the roles of the demigods who award one's desire based on one's rituals, sacrifices, and all that. And also the distinct role which these sadhus, the pure devotees, which they play in the life of devotees, or in the life of the living entities. So the demigod, they have certain roles, and also the pure devotees, the sadhus, they also have distinct roles which they are playing. It's mentioned here, Bhajanta Yata Devan, that you worship the demigods because you want something. Because after all, the demigods, they've been put in the various posts of the universe, the various administration of the universe. They were put there, and they are meant to fulfill the desires of the living entity. In the chapter 3 of the Bhagavad-Gita, so Lord Krishna elaborated on this, that the demigods, through the sacrifice of the living entities, then the demigods provide the rains and all that through the sacrifice. So as pointed here by Vasudev, so he said that those who worship the demigods, so and according to the level of their worship, they will get a particular reciprocation based on their particular level of worship. So you get the result accordingly. And also those who perform so many austerities, sometimes they also get their particular reward, just like Hiranyakashipu, for example. So he worshipped Lord Brahma by performing austerity for 100 years. He was performing such a rigorous austerity that the whole universe became disturbed. So all the demigods, they had to go to Lord Brahma to please do something. And then Lord Brahma, he came to fulfill the desire of Hiranyakashipu. And what was his desire? He wanted to be immortal, basically. He wanted to be God. So he wanted to be immortal, he wanted to have immortality. But Lord Brahma said, look, I don't have immortality. How can I give you what I don't have? And then Hiranyakashipu, okay, don't let me die in the daytime or nighttime by any human being or animals on the ground or in the sky, by any kind of weapons. So he conceived any numbers of ways by which a person could die in this world. So Lord Brahma granted him, said, yes, you can have it. So after exhausting all the plans by which anyone can die, and Lord Brahma said, yes, you have it. So Hiranyakashipu, he felt himself invincible. that yes, now I cannot die by any means. So he became the greatest terrorist in the world. Nowadays, we're talking about so many terrorists, But you come and read the Puranas, who are the actual terrorists, So, so according to the level of your worship to a particular demigod, so they will give you the certain reward. But the sadhus are different. The sadhus, as mentioned here, Sadhava Dinabhatsala, they call Dinabhatsala, which means they are friend to the fallens. They are friend of all living entities. I think this is from Yudhishthira Maharaj. When he was talking to Vidura, he said, Titik Shava Karunika, Sridan Savadeina, Ajata, Satrava Santa, Sadhava Sadhubhushanam. So, describing the qualities of the sadhu, Titik Shava, that they are very tolerant, Karunika, very compassionate, and then he says, Suridam Savabdeina. They are friend of all living entities, not just ordinary friend, intimate friend of all living entities. Suridam Savabdeina. And then Ajata, they have no enemy. They have no enemy. They never consider anyone to be their enemy. It's like the enemy has never been born. They have no enemy. And so these various ornaments, so Vasudev said, Dinabhatsala. So they are they are well-wisher of all living entities. And even without being approached, they will go to someone and get the person to revive their Krishna consciousness, even without being approached. Whereas the demigod is not like that. Demigods, you have to approach them, you have to worship them. You have to make so many offerings, so many sacrifices before they can give you the results. And the demigods, they can give you material benefits. That's all about it. And the material benefit they give you simply bind you in kama bandhana, bind you in the repetition of birth and death. But the sadhus, the benediction they will give you is what frees you from the ocean of birth and death. So you can see the difference. One gives you a benediction, he gives you a reward, which binds you in the samsara, in the repeated cycle. Another one gives you a benediction, which frees you from samsara. So who is better? So obviously it's the sadhus that's better. And these sadhus, they are very tolerant. They are they see everyone as their friend. They are intimate friend, not just ordinary friend, and they never consider anyone as their enemy. And they will, without being invited, they will go to someone's house. So my dear sir, take up Krishna consciousness. You are not this body, you are part of Krishna. They will plant the seed of bhakti. They will plant the seed of bhakti without being asked for. They plant the seed of bhakti. And sometimes when they go about trying to give Krishna consciousness to others, sometimes they are abused. Sometimes they are attacked. Just like Haridas Thakur, he was attacked because he was trying to preach Krishna consciousness. Or Lord Nityananda, when he was trying to preach to Jagai Madai, but his head was smashed with a pot. So sometimes the sadhu, they get attacked, even though they are trying to do that selfless work, selfless activities. But still, they never consider themselves, even though they are attacked, still they will never consider anyone their enemy. When Haridas Thakur, when he was being beaten in 22 marketplaces, he was being beaten, severely beaten in 22 marketplaces, still he was praying for the deliverance of his tormentors. he was praying for their deliverance. And similarly, when Prahlad Maharaj, when he was being tormented by his father, and we all know how Prahlad was given so many torments. Still, Prahlad was always praying for the welfare of his father. So that is the devotee. But the demigods is not like that. You worship demigods, and it so happens that sometimes if I worship the demigods, and everything you do must be very, very flawless. You have to chant mantras very, very nicely. Because if you don't chant the mantra very, very nicely, it can produce adverse effect. Just like in the case of Twister, he was trying to invoke the killer of Indra. He was doing his mantras, trying to invoke the killer of Indra, but a mistake was made in his chanting. When the mistake was made in his chanting, so instead of getting somebody who can kill Indra, so Vitrasura came by whom Indra can kill. So you can see. So it happens like that. But so every mantra that you chant, everything has to be flawless. The timing has to be done nicely. But in the pure worship of the Lord, being supervised by pure devotee of Krishna, it's not like that. It's not like that. As I say, that sometimes it's giving the example of a child who wants something from the mother. So normally a child will speak in a broken language. We babbling something, we speak in the broken language. So the mother, even though the child is speaking the broken language, but the mother already knows what the child wants. So similarly, just like we chant so many mantras, the Gayatri mantra in our particular worship, but the way we are chanting may not necessarily be correct. But as I said, here's a Baba Grahi Janardana, that the Lord knows the heart of those who are worshiping. The Lord knows the heart of his devotee. Even though our approach may not be perfect, the way we are chanting the mantras may not be perfect, but it's the approach, the mentality that matters. And therefore the Lord accepts that. The Lord accepts that because mentality that matters. So the demigods, so they are like that. The approach you have towards them, and if it's not perfect, you can get adverse effect. And also another thing that is mentioned in this verse, that what's that? Chaya Kamos Sachiva. So he mentioned the Chaya means the shadow. So the demigods, they always follow the shadow. They actually themselves, they are bound to the karma of the living entities. So because demigods, they themselves, they are bound to the karma, because when you worship them, they have to give what they are worshiping for. But we find that the demigods themselves, because they are not free from the effect of the karma. They are not free from that. We find in this sixth canto, when Indraji, when he became implicated, because after the killing of Vitrasura, so he became implicated, by which he has to be followed. He became implicated and all that. So the demigods, they become implicated in their awarding of various karmas, various results to the particular worshipper. But the devotees, the sadhu, is not like that. So which means the demigods, they are not independent in their efforts, they are not independent, but the devotees, they are always independent. Devotees of Krishna, are always independent, and sometimes the devotees of Krishna, they sometimes bind the Lord sometimes. They bind the Lord. Like when the Lord was telling there was money. Because there was money, he had offended Ambarish Maharaj. He offended Ambarish Maharaj because Ambarish Maharaj did not wait for him to come back so that he can break his fast. Ambarish Maharaj, he had to drink water because he had been fasting for like 30 days. So when the Vasmani saw this, he became very, very angry. And then from his head, he took up a strand of hair. So he produced a very fiery demon. He wanted to burn Ambarish Maharaj to the ground. But because Ambarish Maharaj, being a pure devotee, even though a fiery demon was being sent to him, he did not protest. He simply remained prayerful for the whatever arrangement the Lord can make. But the Lord cannot tolerate the offense to his devotees. So the Lord immediately sent the Sudarshan Chakra, and Sudarshan Chakra killed this demon, and then was chasing the Vasmani. Even though the Vasmani himself is actually a devotee of the Lord, actually, after all, the Vasmani is an expansion of Lord Shiva. He's also a devotee, but he has offended a great devotee, Ambarish Maharaj. So the chakra of Vishnu was following him. So the Vasmani, he had to run away for his life. He was running everywhere. He could not find any relief. He went to Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma said, I cannot do anything. This is Vishnu chakra that is pursuing you. I cannot do anything. And then he went to Lord Narayana himself. He went to the spiritual to Narayana. That Narayana, this is your chakra. Please withdraw it. It's pressing me. But Lord Narayana said, I cannot do anything for you. I'm sorry. I cannot help you. You have offended my devotee. It's only my devotee, Ambarish. He is the only one who can forgive you. Means I'm powerless. So the Lord was telling them, Vasmani, he said, Aham Bhaktam Paradino, Yashwatantra Ivadija, Sadhubi, Grasa Ridayo, Bhakta Jana Priya. So the Lord told the Vasmani, because he was trying to save his life. So the Lord said, I'm not independent. Aham Bhakta Paradino. I am completely under the control of my devotees. So the Lord says his heart is conquered by the sadhus. Therefore, by pleasing a sadhu, one automatically pleases the Supreme Lord, who is the master of all the demigods. So the demigods, they're always under the subordination, under the control of the Supreme Lord. And as mentioned, that the Agni, Vayu, Yama, Indra, all of them, they are performing the activities due to the fear of the Supreme Lord. But the pure devotees are not like that. The pure devotees, they are always independent. And they are in a position by which they can even check the karma of the living entities. Because by surrendering to a pure devotee of Krishna, your karma can be eliminated. He mentions that when one surrenders to a pure devotee of Krishna, and the pure devotee plant bhakti lata, the seed of bhakti, that moment, one sinful reactions, they all burnt away. They all burnt away to the ashes. All the seed of karma is burnt away from ashes just by surrendering to pure devotees and taking up the process of Krishna consciousness. So who is better? Is it better to worship demigods who will give you temporary benefit? Or is it better to surrender to a pure devotee of Krishna who will actually put an end to your materialistic existence? So who is better? And of course, under the illusion, we think that, I can get this material benefit, I can enjoy myself. And then maybe after some times, maybe I can take to the worship of the Supreme Lord. So we're always under this illusion. But the great person, they say no. So there's one verse in the 10th canto Bhagavatam, whereby Nanda Maharaj was speaking to Gagamuni. He said, Mahat Vichalana Nainam Greening Dina Chetasam Niseyasya Bhagavan Kapate Nanjata Kochit. So Nanda Maharaj, he was speaking to Gagamuni, noting that great saints travel, the great saints, they travel simply for the ultimate benefit of fallen materialistic householders. The demigods wait to be served. The sadhus actively seek out those who are suffering to deliver them. This makes the sadhu the ultimate representative of the Lord, Dina Vatsala. So even though the demigods, they are said to be the Lord's representative because they are appointed by the Lord himself, but the position of the sadhu is much more greater than the position, of the pure devotees. That the demigods, they wait to be served, but the sadhus, they actively seek out the living entity for their deliverance. Just like, Srila Prabhupada, he left India at the age of 70, and he went to America just to deliver, the fallen living entities. So that's the difference. So the Bhagavatam is giving us this wonderful instructions, and Vasudev is saying that, my dear Narada Muni, the demigods, they may give temporary benefits, but you, a sadhu, you are the real friend of the living entities, because you go to them even without being asked to come to. You go to them without being asked. Because they are the Dina Basala, Dina Basala, they are the friend of everyone, friend of living entities. So this is like, Mahaprabhu is saying that in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the instruction to Sanatana Goswami, so the Lord is saying, Mahakripa Bina Kona Kana Bhakti Roy Krishna Bhakti Dure Rahu Samsara Nayak Shaya. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains that without the mercy of a great devotee, Mahakripa, one cannot escape the material world. Samsara Nayak Shaya. Let one attain the supreme goal of Kripa Bhakti, Krishna Bhakti. All the pious karma in the world, including flawless demigod worship, cannot free a soul from samsara. Deliverance is the exclusive monopoly of the sadhu. So who can deliver us from the ocean of materialistic existence? Only a sadhu can do that. Demigods cannot do. Because demigods themselves, they are bound to the ocean of materialistic existence. They are bound to it. So this is what been taught us here in this verse, which been spoken by Vasudev to Nardamani. So if there's any question or comment, you can please. Yeah.
I gotta do my ritual.
Yeah. Okay.
Just like he's busy on his phone, you know. Just like Vasudev was very concerned about the fallen conditioned souls, and obviously a devotee is showing great tolerance and great mercy. So it's remarkable how Prabhupada took the order of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by the encouragement of Rupa Goswami, the Goswamis, and he actually fulfilled the mission of planting the seed of bhakti everywhere. And Prabhupada came back to India and revitalized spiritual life in all of India, actually. So he's showing the personal example of a Vaishnava who wants to relieve the sufferings of so many others. So Prabhupada did a remarkable job to revitalize the spiritual life of the entire country, really. People might not think that, but frankly speaking, Prabhupada came back and with all his devotees from the Western world and did major programs in the major cities, and very quickly Varsha woke up. Just a comment.
Yeah. That's correct. Just like sometimes when we travel, like sometimes we go to the Middle East for preaching, and many devotees from India, they will say that if they hadn't come here, they would not have taken up Krishna consciousness. They would not have taken up Krishna consciousness if they had, even though they came from India, it's the land of back where everything began. But if they have not come across the ISKCON in the foreign countries, especially in the Middle East, they said that they will not have taken to Krishna consciousness. Many will give that. So we can see what Prabhupada had done by making this available to the humanity.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. In this particular verse, Vasudev is saying, Bhajanti yatha devan, deva api tathaivitan. That means the demigods, they award the whatever result is there according to your karma.
Yeah.
In Bhagavad-Gita also Krishna says, Yatan, in
Yeah.
No. In 4.11, Krishna says that whatever you do, according to I reward things, right?
Yeah.
So in these two scenarios, can you explain a little bit more on that? Because when Krishna is saying the same thing, here Vasudev is also saying the same thing. But there is difference between these two.
Yeah,
so please explain that
difference. So Krishna said that as you worship me, I reward you accordingly. Correct. And yeah. But at the same time also Krishna says that whatever you do, whatever progress you make, you will not lose it. You will not lose it. Whatever progress you make in devotional life, you will not lose it. When your next life, you continue where you left off. So the worship of the demigod is not like that. Now, to make it more deeper, that yes, Krishna said that I reward you accordingly as you worship me. But the gopi said that I cannot pay you back. The gopi, because you love me so much, I cannot repay you, so I become indebted to you. So he has to come at Chaitanya Prabhu just to understand the love of the gopis. So the Krishna praying is such that even Krishna himself finds himself incapable of fulfilling what he said in the Gita. That as one worship me, I reward. But the love for the Brajabasi, he is unable to do so. So he has to come at Chaitanya Prabhu just to understand this. What is this love? How is it that the Gopi Devu, how is it that Brajabasi, they love me so much? So he has to come at Chaitanya Prabhu just to understand that. So, that is the situation. Yes, of course. So actually, the comparison, if you analyze it much deeper, the comparison is not there. Because the demigod, they are under obligation. They have to do it. They have to. And just like a minister, he has to distribute whatever he has been given to do. He has to distribute to the public. So the demigods, they have no choice. And that's why Krishna was telling his father that why are you doing this worship of Indra Jaga? Why are you doing all this worship? After all, Indra is bound to give, is bound to provide the necessity. Why are you worshiping him? Don't worship Indra. So the demigod, they have to do it because they're obligated to do that. But to Krishna is independent. The bhakti to Krishna is also independent. And his devotee is also independent. So well, we can always give different analysis like that.
Anybody?
Hare Krishna. Anybody else? Okay. We still have a few more minutes. Maybe you want to comment on that? You want to comment on it?
On this aspect, when Krishna says that whatever I am avoiding, the demigods are giving everything material.
Yeah.
We are asking for material things. So those are perishable.
Yeah.
So material things never go with us. They are all perishable. And in case we are not asking for material things, same demigods, they take us to Krishna also. So that makes big difference.
You should read, there's only a little bit more left. You should read the rest of it.
Oh, okay.
So there is a... you can read.
Let him read the rest of it.
But
I don't understand what you're saying. You don't understand what he says. Let him read the rest
Okay, so Prabhu suggests that I should finish reading.
of it. Only a little bit left.
Okay.
Because otherwise, then the time will be resident.
Okay, so I just finished reading the purpose. Okay, so in this regard, Srimad Bhattacharya has quoted the Hudaman Samhita, Sukam Ichanti Bhutanam, Prayo Doshaha Nrinam, Tatapi Tebya Pabara, Deva Eva Are Priya. Rishi want happiness for all beings and are almost always incapable of tolerating the unhappiness of men. Nevertheless, the demigods are superior because they are very dear to Lord Hari. Anyway, that is not, we have to keep reading that. But although Srila Madhavacharya has placed the demigods in a higher position than the merciful rishis, Srila Jiva Goswami has stated, Sadhavastuna Kamano Kataha. The sadhus are actually better than the demigods because the sadhus are merciful regardless of the pious or impious acts of the conditioned souls. This apparent disagreement between Madhavacharya and Jiva Goswami is resolved by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who points out that in the statement by Srila Madhavacharya, the word rishi or sage indicates the so-called sadhus or saintly person among the karmis and jnanis. Ordinary fruitive workers and speculative philosophers certainly consider themselves to be at the summit of pious morality and altruism. However, since their ignorance of the supreme position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they cannot be considered equal to the demigods who are devotees of the Lord and aware that all living entities are eternal servants of the Lord. Even such demigods, however, cannot be compared to the pure devotees, such as Narada. Such pure devotees are empowered to award the highest perfection of life to both pious and impious living beings. who have only to follow the orders of such pure devotees. Yeah. Yeah. Srila Prabhupada ki, Grant us Bhagavatam ki, Gopi Manande.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,